In today's video, we're going to check out a smart robot mower from Sunseeker. This one's called the X3 Plus. It's a small but powerful robot mower that you can use for your front yard, your side yard, your backyard, any kind of grass experience that you want to be able to manage without having to ever have to go out there and take care of it yourself. You can customize it, set the schedule, and pretty much just forget about it. This is TK, and this is the X3 Plus from Sunseeker. Let's check it out and see what makes it so special. Like and subscribe, and make sure you hit that bell icon so that you're always notified to whenever we have new videos for you on the channel. And we're going to start off, of course, with the unboxing experience. Now, I'm really happy to see that Sunseeker is giving us everything that we need to be able to set the system up and use it. It has a base station with the wires and the power supply that it needs to be able to charge up our actual mower. Also, it has an RTK system that allows it to actually have a dual GPS function. The ability of actually getting not only tracking directly from the mower itself, but also a direct line of sight to GPS using the RTK. And that one comes with its own power system as well. So you get the power, the base station, you get the actual mounting rod that you also have the ability of pinging it to the ground, a nice little cable management configuration, waterproof configuration, of course, across the board, as this system is intended to be outside, which means if it actually does get rain on it, it's not going to get damaged. All the wires and all the fittings, everything works great. I will probably say just make sure that you're connecting it to a power source that also is safe for rain. So that's going to be at the end of part of it. But other than that, you can dock your actual mower, and to be able to use it, you do need to unlock it with a pin code. There's a default one, and you can reset that to customize it to your own liking. Meaning there's actually even a security level in here to allow it so that not anybody can actually just activate the mower accidentally. You need to be able to actually either have the application or manually unlock it and run it directly from the system. Other than that, pretty straightforward. You need to set up the application, download the Sunseeker application either from your iOS App Store or your Google Play Store. And then from there, you go in and customize the application to be able to not only update the software, and there was a couple of updates there for both the base station and the RTK. Just make sure that you always remember they're two separate systems and they do need to communicate. So you go through the setup. There's a few videos in there as well to give you a little bit more information as far as that, the RTK needs to have a direct line of sight to the sky. You can't have it under an awning or a tree or anything that could block it. But other than that, everything else is pretty straightforward, and you're pretty much ready to start basically mapping your backyard. Now, the mapping experience here is a little bit different than most other systems that I've seen before. It does actually use the actual owner, meaning yourself, and the mower itself to map, and you get a little bit more of a detailed mapping experience when you do it this way. You end up basically driving the mower itself like an RC robot, and you basically go around the perimeter of the yard that you want to be able to use. And because you're doing it yourself and not using or now allowing the robot to use an AI system to be able to try to visually gauge where it needs to go, you're able to customize it and even exclude specific areas within a specific yard. Let's say you have a big enough of a yard, and let's say there's a spot you don't want it to mow, you want to let that grass grow a little bit, you can actually customize it that way by driving it yourself. Once you're done doing the perimeter, you basically dock the actual robot back into its base station, and you need to create a tunnel between the base station and the yard if your base station is not in the actual yard. Most people will have it within the same parameters. For me, I ended up having it a little bit outside of it, and it created a tunnel between where the base station is and where the yard. And from there, the Sunseeker knows that this is the work area. It will not go outside of it. It will only work in those parameters. It will move to the beginning of the starting mowing experience at the beginning of the yard. When it ends, it goes back to the actual docking station to charge itself. And literally, that's 90% of what you need to know. Once you have that set up, it's done. It took me about 25 minutes to get everything set up. And it was mostly because I'm actually setting it up outside of the actual mowing area, and I needed to make sure that the RTK was connected, power was coming through, wire management was done right, and of course we had direct line of sight and connection to my Wi-Fi. The system works over Wi-Fi 90% of the time since we're not next to it, but when you're close to it, you'll be able to connect via Bluetooth as well, so it makes it a little bit more functional that way. Now, to set up and use the actual robot vacuum from Sunseeker, you do need to download the Sunseeker robot application. Again, for me, I downloaded it, I paired it. Directly when you set it up, you basically get a greeting page just showing you exactly the mower. This is 6414, that's my mower, currently in the base station charging. It is connected via Wi-Fi, it's 100%, and if I use this barcode scanner, that's how we'll be able to add additional mowers. You can add as many as you want, or you can basically just manage the ones that you have. You can either click on it, click on the start, you get into it. Now we're going to see a clip. We're going to go outside real quick and we're going to take a look at a clip of obviously some of the work that this system can do, but the general information is straightforward. But essentially what we're getting here is, again, it tells us the information we talked about before. You can connect via Bluetooth if we're close enough to it. You can see the work log as well as your schedule. You can start it to actually have it start vacuuming right away. And you can also edit the map that it actually did. Again, I drove this around the entire perimeter and I created the tunnel to be able to know where it is. And you can see that it even knows where the RTK is. So by GPS location between the base station as well as the actual mower, it's able to go and work around under my tree in my backyard without necessarily having full GPS connection. The RTK takes care of that for us. The last thing I do want to talk about before we go into the settings section, we do have the ability of using this as a robot mower, but also like an RC car. You can drive it, you could use it as a security camera when you're not home, and you can customize your own code. You can also create clips directly from when it's mowing itself. You could use the cameras to record clips from there. But if you just want to start it, you hit the start button and it will go and it will start using whatever parameters you already customized within the settings section. And we have a couple of things. There's a device section and then there's a work section. Under the device section, you can go device information, change the pin code, the antenna settings for the RTK, firmware update, work log, network setting, customization to connect to Wi-Fi, time zone, and of course feedback, and of course if you want to reset it or delete it. The work section is where you can customize what it does. By default, it has a standard setting. You can go to wide and customize that if you want. You also have the ability of changing the speed of it, the map measurement, the scheduling that you need to have in there if you want to customize that, and of course cutting direction if you want to be able to customize it. One thing to mention, the height of the grass is adjusted by a dial that's positioned on top of the mower itself. There is no way of customizing it within the application, well, not at this time. It's just not a functional option. The X3 Plus requires us to actually set it directly on the mower. So you can customize it to be from 1 all the way to 9, and from there you're pretty much set. It will always cut it to that level that you set it. From there, you can also go in edge cutting frequency here, edge orders, and of course AI sensitivity. You can also do obstacle avoidance strategy and of course rain delay if it is raining. And then with that being said, you're pretty much ready to go. Let's go ahead and hit start and go outside. Now, one of the nice things about the customizations that we have in here, and you can definitely see the system right here. I'm actually going to just stand right off of it. I'm going to stand real quick here just to kind of get the camera to level and give us a quick look on it. There's the the object of avoiding system that we have in here that allows it to actually use the cameras on the front to go around things. If you map your backyard and it finds certain things, an example for me, I have my drain sitting here in the front, of course, as well as a massive tree that's positioned in the center. It sets up an actual program to know how to mow around it. So for me, it starts from the front and it kind of goes back and forth all the way to get to the back. And when it gets down to the drain, it actually doesn't touch it. It goes around it and it cleans the area. The nice thing as well is once it's done mowing the entire yard, it does the perimeter of the yard. When I first did set it up, one thing to mention that's a little bit different than most other ones, at least other systems that I've reviewed, is that you actually kind of drive it like an RC all around the perimeter of the backyard to align it to the perimeter that you want it to work. So you're giving it essentially a perimeter by driving it and aligning it with that in there. So it's right there, it's moving again, you can kind of hear it. Now, once you've done setting the perimeter, you do need to configure one last thing before it actually works perfectly, especially if your base station is not on the area where it's mowing. And that is essentially kind of like a tunnel path. And if you don't set it up, the app automatically remembers it and it'll create one for you. And what essentially it's doing here, it's providing it a working area. So it knows where it can work and it knows where it shouldn't be working. The blades are protected, they're beneath it, so there's almost very little chance that your hands or anything will get caught in there. Just be aware, obviously, that they are positioned in there, and if it is working, never put your hand anywhere around the bottom of the actual mower. Okay, so we talked about object avoidance, obviously anything that's already there, and of course anything you happen to forget that's there will also be recognized and it'll mow around it. We're also talking about obviously the traction and all the functionalities there, but one of the other things we definitely want to talk about is its positioning. So what you're looking here essentially is the RTK, and that's going to be the GPS tracking that it needs. So there's two GPS functionalities. There's one on the actual unit itself, and then there's the RTK. The RTK needs to have a direct line of sight. It has to see direct sky. It cannot be under a tree. It cannot be under foliage. So for me, that's the best spot for me in the backyard. Also, the positioning for this one is slightly different than most other one. It comes with a base plate and hooks on the front, on the bottom, as opposed to more of a pitchfork design than like the other ones I've reviewed in the past. So a little bit more secure, but also customizable. But then once you customize it and set it up, connect it to your existing Wi-Fi, everything kind of works almost automatically. updates to the actual unit automatically go through. It gets updated directly. You can set it to be overnight. The other thing also, you can also lock the actual mower. So let's say somebody comes in accidentally, a kid or somebody that's visiting, and they accidentally go in there, try to activate it. They need to put in a code which you can customize. So you set that up at the time when you first unboxing it and setting it up. Everything that you need comes again included in the box. Everything is pretty much almost assembled with the exception of the RTK and the wiring. You do need to have a power source, and you are going to need 2 power plugs. It's not a single connection. The RTK connects by itself and the base station connects by itself. And that's going to be how you charge the system. It automatically charges itself with the base station. It knows exactly where it is. It's set at the time when you first get it. Now, one of the last few things I do want to mention here is that we do have a rain detection system in here, an auto recharge, obviously, as it goes back to its base station to charge always. And of course, control via the smart application for not only to be able to start, but schedule, but even to update the software on it. And make sure you can also connect via Bluetooth as well as Wi-Fi connectivity to it. So to summarize the experience of what you're getting here with the X3 Plus, you're getting a system that is small and powerful. It has the navigation positioning system with the base station and the RTK, the AI vision for obstacle avoidance to make sure nothing actually gets damaged, again, if you ever happen to have something that is left there, or even when you're mapping it. The wheels that we have in here, drive system is very nice and strong, can handle inclines and declines if your yard has some type of variation in height in there. And you're able to adjust the height of the grass directly on the unit itself from the top, and it's set and it'll stay at that height. And of course, if for any reason the blades get dull or anything like that, you're able to replace them. They do provide you additional ones. And it is very nice and super accessible at the top. You can lock the unit itself with a code, so no accidental turn-ons or anybody accidentally turning it on. It's a wire-free system since everything is wireless, and the battery is strong enough and big enough that I haven't been able to get it under 70% on a full charge to be able to mow my entire backyard. And this isn't necessarily a very big one, but it's a decent-sized backyard, and of course it does it very nicely. Smart connectivity with Bluetooth and Wi-Fi provide us a nice system that makes it very nice and versatile. So you can connect directly to it or connect wirelessly to it when you're not home and activate it. Set your schedule and just have to forget it. So with that being said, I do want to say thank you very much to Sunseeker for letting me check out the X3 Plus. It is a very nice, a very nimble system, smaller than some of the other options I've seen in the past, but a very surprising system. So you may not think that it can handle like a big yard like this, but it handles it with ease. And again, a lot of the information that we're sharing with you guys today are available directly in the links available below. Check them out, see if this is something that would be interesting for you and could make your life a lot easier taking care of your backyard and not having to go out there and do any kind of work. In the sun, in the heat, in the rain, everything gets done correctly, and the system will do it for you. Like and subscribe as usual. Thank you very much for the support. I will see you in the next video.